Hello, how are you, Karen?
Hi, teacher. Good evening.
Good evening. How is everything there?
Fine, thank you. And you?
Okay, good. Me too. I'm fine. Okay, Karen. Today we're gonna talk about from the streets to success. It is an interesting reading, I think. So, but this is okay. Reading of this from the streets to success. Think of two people you know personally, or have you heard, or who are very rich. Did they earn their money and how, inherit their money from whom or for who from, sorry, or win it and how. I don't know. Maybe you know somebody who's very rich, very wealthy.
Yes, one is the creator of Facebook,
Hmm.
Mark Zuckerberg, I think this, and the other is the creator of iPhone or Apple, but I don't remember.
Apple was uh, Steve Jobs, right?
Yes, yes, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs now is gone, but yeah, yeah. And how about maybe you remember about Mr. Uh, who is I forgot at this moment his name, but he got the Tesla technologies, right? Elon Musk, maybe you heard about him.
Yes, I think that he is the most rich or
One of the most rich persons of the world. Yes,
I
definitely.
think that he is the most.
Yeah, yeah, probably. I'm not. Yeah, 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 yeah. Some of them because he has SpaceX, right? He has some rockets that's shooting to the space. Tesla, and even he's going. I think he bought one social media. Is called. Yeah, usually politicians use a lot. Twitter, right? He already bought Twitter. Okay, if they earned their money, was it because they were very lucky, they worked very hard, or they had a special talent? What do you say?
Mm, I think that is something about the three options, but always in different levels. But I think that the most important reason is because they worked very hard.
Yes, definitely. They worked since they were kids, right? Especially because, like, Elon Musk is not from originally from the United States. He's from South Africa, but he migrated to Canada. It's a long story. I think they worked a lot, very hard. Everyone. Okay, yeah, we agree with that. I think. Well, now you have to read this. An interview with a billionaire. How did he become so rich? Why is his success surprising? Okay, and what does he do to help homeless people? Yes, that's the question, but you got to read this, by the way.
Okay. Okay, I start to read.
Yes, please.
Okay, from the streets to success, John DeLora, an American billionaire businessman, owns several companies, including John Paul Mitchell System, a successful brand of hair products. However, DeLora was not always wealthy. He was the second son of the immigrant parents and grew up in a very poor area of Los Angeles. California before forming his hair product company with only uh, 700, I need to say dollars.
Yes, $700.
He was a street gang member for some of his young. He then worked at low-paying jobs, including encyclopedia salesman, janitor, and insurance salesman, and he was homeless twice. The Horace self-made rise is an inspiring story. As a child, you were fairly entrepreneur. I don't know how to read this word, teacher.
Yeah, entrepreneurial. Entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial when you first, my first job at 9 years old was selling Christmas cards door to door. At 10 years old, my brother and I had paper routes. We got up at 4 o'clock p.m., folded the papers and delivered them and then got ready for school. As you get older, you continue to work.
Sorry.
Is that right? The job that was one of the most influenced experience you can imagine was door-to-door selling encyclopedias. Doors literally slam in your face, made 30, 40 doors before the first customer will actually talk to you and let you in. Have you been homeless? Haven't you? Twice. Once when I was about 22 years old. The other time was when I started John Paul Mitchell system in 1980. I wasn't getting along with my wife at the time, so I had left and had give her all the money. He had a baker for John Paul Mitchell system, putting in $500,000. The money was supposed to arrive that day. I never got a penny, so I just slept in my car, and I slept in my car for the first 2 weeks when I started the company. So we started with humble beginnings. Do memories of the streets motivate you? It sure makes you very appreciative of what you have in your life. Those who are homeless, like people with kids who are homeless, I really have a heart for. So I appreciate in a lot of charitable organizations that takes the homeless off the streets.
Okay.
What are the biggest problem you have faced in business? The biggest problems is rejection, and many business you start be ready for it. The difference between successful people and successful people is that the successful people do all the things the unsuccessful people don't want to do. When 10 doors are smell in your face, you go to door number 11 with a smile. When did you know you had made it? It was in a business 2 years, and we were able to pay every single bill on time. We have a couple of $1,000 in the bank. 40, 40, it's, how can I say?
$4,000.
Sorry?
4,000 US dollars.
4,000 US dollars. To be exact, and we said, man, we made it. It is all downhill now. It was really hard. It took a couple years. What was the first thing you bought yourself up to point? I went to a restaurant. This is the first time said, I'm going to order of the left of side of the menu, not the right side. The right side is where the price are. Um, carne asada, guacamole, whatever I wanted. I didn't even look at the prices. That to me was the pretty big deal. Was a
Okay.
pretty big deal, yes.
Yes, was a pretty big deal. And yeah, according to this one, we're gonna do this. Well, the events are, first of all, I don't know, according to the reading, number one, we can say this is the order, right? How was all the order? For example, number one says he sold Christmas cards from door to door. And those are some events. But let's jump on the highlighted words, okay? And for example, there are different highlighted words that we can check it out. Mhm. And we have, for example, this one, billionaire. What is the meaning of billionaire?
A person who has a lot of money, exactly amount of money that put uh, put this person in a status.
Yes. Usually, billionaire we say someone who's, because in the States they say billionaire, they don't say millionaire, right? Billionaire when they have more than millions of dollars, of course. And what is the meaning of brand according to your opinion?
Maybe it's the different products that you have, like a
Yes.
list or like something like that.
A brand is like marca, right? Like Coca-Cola, Oscar de la Renta, or something like that. Yes. And what about wealthy?
I don't know.
Wealthy is a rich person, right? Similar to billionaire, but wealthy, probably it is regarding to possessions, right? Wealthy. And what about low paying?
Mm, well, I think that is when someone pay you the lowest price of
Mhm.
your job.
It's about to, I don't know, we can say about salary, right? About
Mhm.
the wage. We also say that. Over here, the wage or salary. Okay, and what about salesman? You know, right?
It's the person who sells something.
Yeah, sales products. And what about self-made? What do you think?
No, I don't know.
Like when you do something by yourself, right, without any help. Yeah, when you do something by yourself. And this word, entrepreneurial, because there's a word entrepreneur. It is like emprendedor, right, in Spanish. Usually, when somebody creates a company, is we consider entrepreneurial. Okay, like some other successful people nowadays, as you mentioned, are entrepreneurs, right? Emprendedores. And how about paper routes? What do you understand by about paper routes?
Um, I don't know if it talks about the papers that have some information about the direction of some places.
Like maps, yes. Yeah, of course they have to deliver, right? Deliver door to door or something like that. Yeah, and yes, this one, door to door. What do you understand by door to door?
Mm, is when you go, for example, to one home to another, and talk. Um, well, how can I say tocar la puerta?
Knock.
Knock, to knock the
Yes.
door.
Yes,
Uh,
knock the door. Sorry, knock the door, right? Knock the door or ring the bells, right? Mhm. And customer, what is customer?
is the is the person that, well, for example, if you have a company, customer is the person that bought your service or your products.
Yes, the clients, right? The
Yes.
consumers can be, yes. And how about baker,
I don't know.
who the person who makes breads like cakes, cookies, right? Panadero,
Okay.
baker. Putting in $500,000. What do you think is that?
Mm,
According to the context, maybe it's an expression, right?
mm. Well, the expression is like when you make a lot of money, like comparing with the people like a baker that makes, well, bread and something like that.
It's about investing money, right?
Yeah, okay.
Investing money, especially. What about rejection? Mm,
When for when something, I don't know how to explain, but it's when um,
somebody
someone reject.
doesn't
uh,
accept you, right?
yes.
Yes, yeah, definitely. And made it.
When you did
Mhm.
what you proposed.
Yes, and how about bill? Bill me could mean different things. About
And,
money.
well, in this case, bill is when you have accounts in the bank, or I don't know, in this case, you need to pay a invoice.
Yes, invoices, facturas, cuentas. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, some money you need to pay, right? The bill, we can say, we can talk about some money or the rent or taxes or whatever. Okay, yes, today we only want we'll check those vocabularies and okay, thanks for being in the call, Karen. I will launch this by the way. Okay. I don't know if you have any questions for tomorrow or tomorrow we have classes, right, at 7:40.
Yes. Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Thank you for
See
being
you
in the call.
tomorrow.
See you
Good
tomorrow.
evening.
Good evening, good night. Bye bye.
Bye.
Hello, good
Hi,
evening.
teacher. Hi. I don't
Hi.
know why since Thursday, I can schedule my
Oh, really?
appointment, but well, I try to connect this hour. Maybe you are without
Yeah,
other students.
yeah, there is no one, I think. Yeah, at this moment.
Okay. Can I?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. How are you, Nazarena?
Fine, teacher.
Good.
Sometimes I feel like sad because
Yeah.
I miss my home, but it's fine. I think that is um with the time,
Yeah. Are you gonna
little by little.
stay? Yeah. Are you gonna stay more time there?
Yeah, I think that until December I will be here.
Okay. But I think you're doing some friends there, making friends. Sorry.
Yes, but it's not the same. But yes.
Okay. Yeah. It's. I think totally different.
Yeah.
Okay, today we're going to talk about um, from the streets to success. Let's move on to this question. Think of two people you know personally or you have heard of who are very rich. Did they earn their money? How do they earn their money? Or maybe they inherit their money. Who from? And win it how? How did they earn that money?
Okay. Mm, I have to describe you. I have to describe someone.
Someone, yes, someone who is rich. I don't know, a famous person or someone you
Uh,
know.
okay. I have a nice story that is of a cousin that come to United States.
Mhm,
He come to learn English and work in in him free time like a waiter.
mhm,
Um, and later he saw the how many people went to the restaurant and spent a lot of money and was like how they do that, and that is something incredible. So he was like searching a way to have more money. He began to work with a man that is from Argentina in that
mhm.
times, and later he learned a lot from him. Sorry. Um, Later they work in real estate together, and now is like the sixth person in Los Angeles and in the United States, the best seller, selling houses, really big houses. Is a really interesting um history.
Story. Yeah,
Yeah,
wow, that's inspiring. Wow, I
yeah,
didn't know about that. Really interesting. Wow, he
yeah,
was a waiter. Now he's a very successful real estate agent, I think.
yeah. Since be like a waiter, it's
Yeah,
a
it's
big,
very
yeah,
different.
yeah. I know.
Yeah, but what do you say about number two? If he earned his money, was it because he was very lucky, he worked very hard, or he had a special talent? What do you say?
I think that he work a lot, and also I think that ha had a goal, an important goal that he want to achieve.
Mhm.
So he went to that goal.
Yeah, I
Was
know.
more easier, but he works a lot. He worked a lot.
Of course, it doesn't have to be easy to get that success.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, now we're gonna read this. It's about an interview to a rich person, but who was very poor. Let's start reading.
Okay. From the street to success. John DeGioia, an American billionaire businessman, owns several companies, including John Paul Mitchell Systems, a successful brand of her products. However, DeGioia was not always wealthy. He was the second son in immigrant parents and grew up in a very poor area of Los Angeles, California. Before forming his hair product company with only $700, he was a street can member for some of his yard. He then worked at low-paying jobs, including encyclopedia salesman, janitor, and insurance salesman, and he was homeless twice. The Georgia's self-made rise in an inspiring story. As a child, uh, as a child, you were fairly entrepreneurial, weren't you? My first job at 9 years old was selling Christmas cards door to door. At 10 years old, my brother and I had paper routes. We got up at 4 o'clock a.m., folded the papers, and delivered them, and then got ready for school. As you got older, you continued to work. Is that right? The job that was one of the most influential experiences you can imagine was door to door selling encyclopedias. Doors literally slam in your face, maybe 30, 40 doors before the first customer will actually talk to you and let you in. You have been homeless, haven't you? Twice. Once when I was about 22 years old. The other time was when I started John Paul Mitchell Systems in 1980. I wasn't getting along with my wife at the time, so I had left and had given her all the money. We had a baker for John Paul Mitchell Systems putting in $500,000. That money was supposed to arrive that day. I never got a penny, so I just slept in my car. And I slept in my car for the first 2 weeks when I started the company. So we started with humble beginnings. Do memories of the street motivate you? It sure makes you very appreciative of what you have in your life. Those who are homeless, like people with kids who are homeless, I really have heard for. So I participate in a lot of charitable organizations that take the homeless off the streets. What are the biggest problems you have faced in business? The biggest problem in rejection, any business you start, be ready for it. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that the successful people do all the things the unsuccessful people don't want to do. When 10 doors are slammed in your face, go to door number 11 with a smile. When did you know you had made it? I was in business 2 years and we were able to pay every single bill on time. We had a couple of $1,000 in the bank, 4,000 to be exact. And we said, "Ma'am, we made it. It's all downhill now." It was really hard. It took a couple years. What was the first thing you bought yourself at that point? I went to a restaurant. This is the first time I said I'm going to order off the left side of the menu, not the right side. The right side is where the prices are. Carne asada, guacamole, whatever I wanted. I didn't even look at the prices. That to me was a pretty big deal.
Okay, yeah, that's the reading. Yeah, we will check it out. There are interesting. There are some interesting vocabulary, by the way. For example, what is the meaning of billionaire?
Mm, that someone has three zeros on the 4 zeros. I don't know. In
Yeah,
the
but in their bank account.
yeah,
Yeah, a billionaire. Usually in Spanish we say millionaire, right? But Americans say billionaire. Like it's a bit different, but it's the same, right? Wealthy people. What about brand? What do you understand by brand?
brand is like a company,
Hmm?
but it's the brand.
Yeah, like Coca-Cola, right?
Yeah, like yes,
Okay.
like Coca-Cola or Pepsi or KFC or whatever recognized brand. Yeah,
There is in the US Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Kentucky. Ah, yeah, yes,
Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yes.
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 Kiev. Yeah, I don't know.
Have,
KFC? Okay.
yes, KFC. Have you tried it?
Yes, it's delicious. I love chicken.
Okay. I think the time is up now. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Nazarena. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. And
Okay.
thanks for getting connected. But I don't know if you can see the
Okay, now, yep.
okay the call.
Okay, teacher. Thank you. Good
Okay,
night.
see you tomorrow. Thanks for getting connected. Bye, Nazarena. Hello, Lucia. How are you?
Good evening, Professor. I'm fine, thank you.
Good evening. Okay. Well, I'm sorry for making you wait. So today we're going to talk about an interesting topic, which is about as you can see over here, as you can read, from the streets to success. Um, well, but there are some questions that we have here. Uh, let's think about two-person or two people you know personally, or maybe you have heard about them that are very rich, and how did they earn their money? Maybe they inherit their money from who from, or we win it. How? Maybe you can mention about, I don't know, a famous person or someone you know who is very famous, not famous, maybe very wealthy or rich.
Mm, we can say maybe Bill Gates. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Okay,
Bill Gates.
how did he made his money?
I'm not pretty sure about him his money. Maybe for also the owner of Facebook, Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
sure.
start with the social network, and then yeah, it was a big
He's
project.
yeah, he's a big fish now. Yeah. And uh the next one is, if they earned their money, was it because they were very lucky, they worked hard, they had a special talent? What's your opinion? What can you say about that?
Mm, for example, in the case of Zuckerberg, I think it's a mix of talent and lucky.
Yeah, because originally it was not his idea. Originally, Facebook was the ideas of two of his friends, as I can say. They were twin boys. They were twin boys, but those boys, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg appropriated that, but those guys, those boys, demanded him, and they won. And with that money, they started Bitcoin. The original authors or creators of Facebook, now they are also rich because of Bitcoin. Did you know about that? I was reading that.
No, no, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it was really interesting. But they are also rich, not maybe not as rich as wealthy as Mark Zuckerberg, but they are. Bitcoin is very very big brand, right? Okay, now you have to read this one, the reading, and we're gonna check it out some meanings of vocabulary, especially over here. Some okay highlighted words. But let's start reading, please.
Okay. From the streets to success. John de Hoyra, it's good.
Yeah, the joyride,
The
right?
Joy, the Joyra, an American billionaire businessman, owns several companies, including John Paul Mitchell Systems, a successful brand of hair products. However, the Joyra was not always wealthy. He was the second son of immigrant parents and grew up in a very poor area of Los Angeles, California. Before forming his hair product company with only $700, he was a street gang member for some of his youth. He then worked at low-paying jobs, including encyclopedia salesman, janitor, is
Janitor.
janitor and insurance salesman, and he was homeless twice. The Jorah's self-made rise is an inspiring story. As a child, you were fairly entrepreneurial, weren't you? My first job at 9 years old was selling Christmas cards door to door. At 10 years old, my brother and I had paper routes. We got up at 4 o'clock a.m., folded the papers, and delivered them, and then got ready for school. Thank you. As you got older, you continued to work. Is that right? The job that's one of the most influential experiences you can imagine was door to door, selling encyclopedias. Doors literally slam in your face. Maybe 30 or 40 doors before the first customer will actually talk to you and let you in. You have been homeless, haven't you? Twice. Once when I was about 22 years old. The other time was when I started John Paul Mitchell Systems in 1980. I wasn't getting along with my wife at the time, so I had left and I had given her all the money. We had a backer for John Paul Mitchell Systems putting in $500,000. That money was supposed to arrive that day. I never got a penny. So I just sleep in my car. And I slept in my car for the first 2 weeks when I started the company. So we started with humble beginnings. The memories of the streets motivate you. It sure makes you very appreciative of what you have in your life. Those who are homeless, like people with kids who are homeless, I really have a heart for. So I participated in a lot of charitable organizations that take the homeless off the streets. What are the biggest problems you have faced in business? The biggest problem is rejecting. Rejecting. Any business you start, be ready for it. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is that the successful people do all the things the unsuccessful people don't want to do. The 10 doors are slammed in your face. Go to door number 11 with a smile. When did you know you had made it? I was in business 2 years, and we were able to pay every single bill on time. We had a couple of $1,000 in the bank, $4,000 to be exact. And we said, man, we made it. It is downhill now. It was really hard. It took a couple years. What was the first thing you bought yourself at that point? I went to a restaurant. This is the first time I said I'm going to order off the left side of the menu, not the right side. The right side is where the prices are. Carne asada, guacamole, whatever I wanted. I didn't even look at the prices. That to me was a pretty big deal.
Okay, yeah, according to the reading, I think it's very inspiring. Let's check it out. Let's, yeah, check those, look at those highlighted words. What do you understand by billionaire?
With like billions, really more than a millionaire, yeah, billion.
In the United States, people say, in Latin America, in Spanish, we say millionaire, right?
Mhm.
But in the States, they say billionaire. It's the same, but the word changes. And how about brand?
It's like something that identify a product.
Mhm. Yes, brand like Oscar de la Renta, or Coca-Cola. Yes, and wealthy.
It's like in a good way.
Mhm. Wealthy is a person who owns, yes, a lot of possessions, right? Including money, properties, a wealthy person.
I-
And how,
It's like rich.
yes, similar. maybe is synonym of rich, wealthy.
Okay.
Because yeah, wealthy person, obviously. Low paying,
Like uh, when the payment is so low, bajo
mhm,
precio.
yeah, of course. If he was a janitor, right? Janitor is the person who cleans the bathrooms, the houses, the
Janitor
toilets.
in Spanish, what is it, professor?
Is a person who cleans.
It's like conserje, something like that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, janitor. It's a very low paying job, I think. I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah, because it's nobody wants to do it. And salesman, okay, salesman,
Is a person who sells,
yes, a seller,
who's
right?
a seller.
Sometimes we say sales rep, salesman. Okay. How about self-made?
Something that was made by a person, by the
Yes,
same person.
by himself, right?
Mhm.
And how about entrepreneurial or an
Like
entrepreneur?
emprendimiento.
Yes, entrepreneur, right? Entrepreneurial, emprendimiento. And paper routes.
I'm not sure about that word, teacher.
Yeah, it's similar like paper routes. It's, I think, regarding to newspapers. I don't know if you have, usually in the States, I think there are some little boys throwing some folded papers to the houses, right? Like news.
Like the carteros.
Yes, but no, not really. I think there are some folded papers like newspapers. I don't know
It's
if you
like
know.
periodiqueros for us.
Yes, yes, like they throw right
Yeah,
in the houses. Yeah, because he was very when he was younger. And how about door to door selling,
it's like every door is knocked.
knocking the door and yeah, customer.
It's like when you have a company or a service, is the people that gives you money up from the service.
Yes, yes. And how about backer? I think I got confused with this. I thought it was baker, but no, backer.
I
A
don't know, teacher.
a person who loans money.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
like prestamista or something like that. I
Okay.
don't. Yeah, and because he said that he's supposed to receive some money from a baker, but he never get a penny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any coins. Yes, putting in $500,000. It was like a kind of system, but that was a company, right?
Yeah.
But he was not successful at that. He didn't get nothing, right? I never got a penny. Yeah. And what about rejection?
Something like decline,
Hmm. That nobody wants to accept you, right? Made it.
like phrasal verb of mate.
Yeah, bill. What is bill?
Like uh like account.
Yeah, that you have to pay, right?
Yeah,
Like the
like la cuenta.
taxes, services. Yeah,
Yes.
like invoices, but invoices are facturas, right? But in this case, la cuenta. Yeah, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about this story?
It's really inspired, I think so. And maybe not all, but a lot of these the stories of the big billionaires are people that start in the beginning with zero, we can say,
Yeah,
with
there is
nothing.
yeah, there is a phrase in English, very common phrase is that's when they talk about successful people, they say that almost every successful people wakes up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I think there's a reason, but always, usually. And there's a phrase. It's called the okay. They wake up at 4 o'clock a.m. or for very early in the morning because they are the early birds to get the early worm, right? To get the worm.
It's so the phrase is early bird.
Yeah, early birds get the worm.
Early birds get one. Okay.
Early birds get the worm. I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Eh, el pájaro tempranero consigue la lombriz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some interesting phrases. Also in English, the other one is for regarding to smart people. For example, they say the night owl.
Mm-hmm.
The night owls. If they say if you are a night owl, that means that you are smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not watching TikToks, but there are some people that spends a lot of time like reading books or searching on the internet. Do you consider yourself to be a night owl?
I prefer consider myself an early bird.
It's
Yeah.
better, right?
For
We
me, it's better. At
it can be
4, I
difficult.
can wake up at 4 or 5, but not stay until that hour.
That's good. That's good. That's why you. I think you are very successful because you can travel. You can be part of very interesting projects. That's very nice. I didn't know that you went to San Cristobal because it's very far from you are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was really nice.
Yeah, it is. I miss it. I miss that place. Yeah, because I spent 5 years of my life there.
But actually the church it's open. No, the two times that I went to go and come back, it wasn't open. Like
Because of
cathedral.
pandemic. Yeah, probably. But now I think yeah. Before pandemic, I went to work for 10 years contract. I made the maintenance of the plant with some. I was supervising some workers, but since that time I didn't go back
Mhm.
because of the pandemic. I think of coronavirus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Now I think it's open. Yeah, they called me to work, but I can't because I'm here teaching and doing other things.
You now you are specialist in teaching English, professor, or teaching
Yeah, yeah,
different.
yeah. Yeah, I took the TOEFL test, 95 out of 120. Yeah, yeah, I think I need to improve more. You said that you want to take 100, right?
Yeah, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. I got almost 100, but 95 out of 120, I think is acceptable. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the past, I took some trials. I got 85, but it was a long time ago.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, now I'm trying to be a specialist of as work as a teacher because I took some classes also. It's called the TTP, Teacher Training Program. I have been teaching from 2016, but also I'm teaching in the mornings metallurgy. I'm teaching in a technical school. I do metal casting, mineral concentration, something like that. But in the afternoons, I teach English. Before teaching English, also I was a tour guide.
Oh,
How?
nice.
Yeah, I worked 5 years as a tour guide. I used to do everyday tours, a walking city tour, cable car here in La Paz, Cholet's tour in El Alto.
Oh,
You
I
heard of
really
it?
love that.
Yeah, it's crazy because there are very fancy houses, tall buildings. There are some houses.
Electropreste. Electropreste is there.
Yes, the Electropreste. Yeah, I went also once there.
Me as
Yeah.
well.
Wow, really?
Yes, I really love that kind of parties.
It is very traditional. It's totally mixed. It's very random. Yeah. I went there. yeah, it's then if you went there, you know very well of what I'm talking about, right? The cholets. Yeah, there was a house that I regularly visit. It is $4.5 million house. Is yeah, it's an Aymara's house, so it's very wealthy house. It is
Wow.
crazy, yeah. But anyway, no, now I'm not doing it. Sometimes I do on Sundays. Probably later I will continue doing the tours. It's interesting to know
Yeah.
people.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay, maybe if you come to visit La Paz, I can be your tour guide. I can maybe do. Sometimes I do with my students and the. Oh,
Nice, nice professor. I
yeah,
really love La Paz. It's a really nice city for me.
yeah. El Alto is a bit crazy. We don't have no museums, nothing, no real estate in El Alto. It's very interesting also, but La Paz is very cultural, very traditional.
Yeah, Brujas Street is my favorite street.
Ah, yeah. I used to be every day there, every day. I know I have my caseritas. When I used to take them like 20 tourists, they used to give me some gifts.
Oh, nice, nice.
One of my caseritas once gave me a mesa de chaya for free, a big one. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. She said, "Okay, it's for you because you take a lot of tourists, and thank you for that. Take this for your house or whatever, but I'm gonna prepare for you a big one." Yeah, and she gave me for free.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for being part of the call, Lucia. I think nobody's. I don't know. Nobody scheduled the call. So okay, we're gonna see each other tomorrow. I don't know if you have any questions about the class about something.
No, it's good, Professor. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Yesterday I was a bit not. I was not at home, so that's it was difficult to connect. But now I'm
No,
okay.
it's okay. Don't worry.
Okay, Lucia. By the way, tomorrow I will make it available the quiz of lesson three, and the lessons already there. You can. I think you are working on it, right?
Yeah, yeah. In the prison. Yes.
Yeah, the person. Okay, okay, Lucia. Thanks for being. I don't know if you can see the poll.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, thanks, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Professor. Bye. Have a good night.
Same. Good night, Lucia. Bye bye.
Bye, bye.
Well, thanks for being in the call. Bye bye.